This is a demonstration of how to use the subject editing tools that are built into Bugwood. Although the interface we're going through is for the Bugwood image database, this also applies to EdMaps, Bugwood Presents, the resource database, video database, and any other system that's maintained by Bugwood. To start, go to the admin section for Bugwood images. The tools to edit subjects are behind password. Only administrators can edit subjects at this time. Once on the Bugwood administration page, there's a section for subject administration. Click Edit a Subject. From this point, there are 3 different ways that you can get to a particular subject. The first is to go in by order. The drop-down you see here will provide a list of all orders currently in the database. Typing will begin to limit the options that are available to only those that have the letters in that word. After selecting the order you're looking for, click the View button. This then provides a list of all the families in that order. From here, you can select any of the families to view all the subjects that are in that family. You can get to that same point by clicking on Select a Family to Review. Again, typing to limit the options to what you want to see, and then selecting the option you wish to view. Again, when on the family page, you are viewing a list of all subjects currently in that family. The family page has been set up to allow you to review all subjects fairly easily. By scrolling down through the list of subjects, you can see the subfamily, tribe, scientific name, who edited this last, when it was edited, who originally created the subject, and when it was created. In reviewing a family, you may find an error such as this, where the tribe differs for members of the same genus. To edit that information, select the subject name it left. This opens in a new tab the form for editing a subject. From this, I can go to the information that may need correction and open up the appropriate drop-down. In the case of subfamily and tribe, we are showing the options that are currently for the parent taxon. If for some reason you do not see the taxon you wish to use for something in particular, such as tribe, you can start typing a new option and then select it from the drop-down. To clear any item, just select the blank space in the drop-down. In this case, we're going to select the appropriate tribe. We're also going to provide an appropriate common name reference for this subject. In this particular case, the common name is not one recognized by the Entomological Society of America, but one that's derived from the taxonomy. In this case, the term derived from taxonomy or generic common name can be used. When done editing all the information for a subject, click Edit Subject. On the tab that was open, this returns you to the beginning page where you can select another subject or family to review. However, if I'm reviewing an entire family, I would simply close this tab and proceed back to the original list I was working on. Note that the values in this table have not updated yet, as we have not refreshed the page. However, I can continue scrolling down through the information present and find other subjects that may need correction. The third option from the Subject Edit page is to directly edit a subject by selecting its name from the drop-down. If you know of a specific error on a subject that you wish to edit, this is the fastest way to get to that subject. Two things that have changed over the years for how we've handled subjects in the system are how we handle references and how we handle synonyms. Originally, we were getting the actual URL for a particular reference and including that with the information for the subject. Because services are available for many of those key taxonomic lookups, we now use other web services to gather that information. When adding a subject, click the plus button next to the input. This will bring up a form where you can enter the name of it, the URL for the general reference, or if it's a PDF, choose a file that you can upload. You can then provide any notes or citation you wish to about the reference. Clicking Create Reference will create that reference in the system and populate the drop-down. If a reference has already been added to the system, there is no need to add it again. Simply look for it in the drop-down by typing in some words from that title. This should greatly reduce the work involved in adding references and will work with our additional efforts to automatically pull in information from other sources. Second is how synonyms are handled in the system. Previously, we would update the information for a genus or species to what the correct information was. However, this led to significant issues where we had information for a subject tied to a specimen, and that information did not change when taxonomy was updated. At the time that specimen was identified, its name was the old name. Because of this, few changes, if any, should be made to the genus, species, and interspecific taxon. However, we expect people to edit the family, subfamily, and tribe as appropriate, since this is the hierarchy that taxon belongs to. Then, rather than changing the information at the top, the user can select that it is in fact a synonym and select what the current name is for that particular taxon, as well as the type of synonym this is. Note that misspellings are also included as a type of synonym. This allows our database to be more robust when matching against other people's taxonomic lists. If the proper name you are looking for does not exist in the system, even after typing some letters to narrow down your selection, that subject will have to be added to the database first prior to synonymizing the older name. To do this, click on Administration Home and then choose the Add a Subject option. This will take you to the Bugwood Image Subjects project within our system that you can add subjects to. As the instructions say on the page, add one scientific name per line. This is useful for adding batches of scientific names to the system. After clicking to add the names, you then can see the names in the list and find which ones do not match. The icon of arrows at the right will take you to a page where you can add this subject. It does give you the option to use an existing name just in case there was one in the system that you believe this to be, or you can create a new subject. The Create a New Subject page is identical to the subject editing page, however, no information has been filled out. It's recommended to start at the top of the form and work your way down. When selecting family, and then later choosing a genus, subfamily and tribe may be filled in if it's already known for that genus. This is the reason for the inverted order of subfamily and tribe on one row versus genus, species, interspecific taxon, and authority on the row above. After filling out the remaining information for the subject, click Add Subject. Return then to the previous subject you were editing and mark it as a synonym of the other species. This process helps to preserve synonymous taxonomic names where appropriate and update taxonomic names throughout other places in the database.